Hey everybody, welcome to the Struggling Hunters. You're in the hunting shack with myself, Eric, and Mr. Joe.
Howdy, guys.
Tonight we got a pretty good podcast coming. It's going to be pretty exciting. We got a lot of good stuff in the works in the future. And let me start off with, we're at episode 101. And guys, we're over 100 episodes. It's been a crazy ride. Because of that, I really appreciate you guys' support, keeping us going, keeping us, motivated to keep making more episodes and everything. And I'm really excited about it. And with that, keep giving the likes, keep giving the subscribes. If you're listening to this for the first time, check us out on our podcast, whatever platform that you get that you listen to your podcast. Make sure that you come check us out over there. Our YouTube is growing pretty good. We've definitely been getting some attention, and it's been a fun journey. Joe and I, we've learned a lot over the last 100 episodes, and a lot of this stuff we already said last episode at episode 100. But here we are again tonight. We put you on a cliffhanger last week, and so tonight we're going to let you know what that is. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Joe and let him break the news of what we've been hanging on to for a while.
Yeah. So, sitting here trying to decide how to go about it and let you off that cliffhanger that you were on. And I was trying to think of something funny to do, but I just couldn't come up with something last minute as it hit me. But to try to make it be the funny guy. Sorry for that. Don't have anything, so I'll just go ahead and kind of dive into it. A lot of you noticed, if you've been watching on our YouTube channel side of it, you can watch us talk in our podcast. And the last couple of weeks, my backgrounds have changed, and also on top of that, if you followed us too, you can see that me and Eric have done few more things, few more podcasts in person. Gotten together in a few more Saturdays than we have in the last I guess year and a half. And then with that, so if you've been able to put two and two together, you'd see that we've been able to spend some more time together. My backgrounds have changed, so I'll just let you know now that did a big move and moved to Colorado. So me and Eric are in the same state now. Yeah, so sold the home in Utah, and we were on our way of closing in a house here in Colorado. And me and Eric went from 500 or 300 miles or 5 hours away from each other.
Whatever 5 hours is, yeah. Yeah, almost 300 miles.
Yeah, now we're like 2 minutes away from each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we've already been talking about it, riding my bike over to his house and going on bike rides this summer to get in shape for hunting season and everything. So pretty excited.
You know how when you're a kid and you'd ride your bike over and, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, can Eric come out and play? That's going to be how it is. Me and Eric now. I ride my bike over to his house. Hey, Mrs. Stewart, can Eric come out and play?
Hopefully I get my chores done before you show up.
You better get your chores done.
Yeah.
So that's our big announcement is instead of being in two separate states, Struggling Hunters, the team is into one state now. So what does that mean? The more videos should be hitting on the YouTube platforms. Our social media will probably be picked up a little bit more. You see more posts from us, a lot more time me and Eric will be able to be spending together. So you'll probably be hearing a lot more of us of the struggling hunters, and kind of what we'd kind of been wanting the struggling hunters to become over the last year and a half. But now being together and or in the same state, be able to work together, we can make some of that come to fruition a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And our podcast will probably do more and more in person, or, instead of the Zoom calls, we'll
Right.
start doing them more in person. Maybe once in a while we might have to do a Zoom call like this, like tonight, for example, and even the last couple of weeks, every once in a while. It's just because Joe's moving and stuff. It's just worked out better for us to keep doing the Zoom call just for scheduling purposes. And Joe's been crazy busy moving and stuff. So it's just kind of worked out better. Uh, like I said, with doing Zoom calls, but in the future, well, we still got a little ways because you still kind of in the process of
Of
closing on
moving.
your house and stuff and moving.
Yeah.
So we might end up still doing a few more Zoom calls, but eventually we're gonna start doing more in person. And then like Joe said, we're gonna work on building other content around the podcast, and just having just really kind of focusing on growing our YouTube and podcast portion, and putting a little more emphasis on it, and really trying to focus on growing everything. Uh, I'm excited to have just the way it's all worked out, and the way just it's going to be a fun adventure. Crazy ride, whatever you want to say. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to have Joe over here in Colorado, and it's amazing that it worked out this way. Um, and we're just gonna, I really think that the YouTube channel is really gonna uh, get a lot better, or grow. And I don't know, I'm just excited about it, and it's just fun. Me and Joe, we grew up together in high school, and junior high a little bit, or we just grew up together in Idaho, and then the way life's paths have crossed and intertwined and everything, we ended up in the same town. And such a small sliver of a chance of that actually happening in real, and
Right.
here it is, we're actually doing it. So it's very exciting. And man, I'm just so excited to have you over here, Joe, and just glad it's worked out. It's been
Yeah.
hard to not say anything to everybody on the podcast. I feel like there's been a few times I've went on my little rants, and had to like stop myself a little bit short, because I'm like, if I say anything else, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. But here we are. So it's just
Yeah.
been fun.
Yeah. It's been, for the last month or so, we've known we're gonna be coming out to Colorado. We've been kind of seriously considering it since almost, I guess, since like July. Me and the wife been trying to make it happen. Not, like not too hard, but really thinking hard, contemplating on it. And then finally, I guess it's been like 2 months ago, we made it happen. And we're excited. Yeah, like that's a move that we wanted to make, and we're glad that it kind of works out in both realms of where we'd want to be, and being able to be with Eric.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, man, as far as hunting and everything, I'm so excited at the fact that, it's not going to be we're going to just basically be able to hunt together, and it's not going to be a big production trying to get each other, where I'm trying to get
Right.
over to Utah to hunt with you, or you coming and hunting with me. And that's something that actually for the YouTube, like, is something that we're going to really focus on too, is getting better at recording our hunts. And whether we get something or not, we're going to try to make some content around it. And but it makes it so much easier kind of basically being together. So it's just, I don't know. I think it's good news all the way around. I think it's better for everything that
Right.
we've tried to build.
Especially with the gas prices going up too.
Yeah.
We'll be able to
Yeah.
like split a tank of gas to go hunting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We might have to now, we might have to, speaking of, I don't know, we might have to get a trailer of some sort so we can throw both of our stuff or whatever in it.
Right.
But yeah, it's, I don't know. It's nice. It's going to be a lot like whenever we were younger and it was like, let's go hunting. We just knock on the door and
Right. Well, I don't know.
Joe shows
So
up at my house at 3 a.m. Hey, let's go hunting.
that's a true story too. I did do that to Eric. And I think it was a year after, was it our senior year or was it that fall after we graduated? I can't remember. I think it was that fall after we graduated.
Yeah,
I
I think
legit went to your house and knocked on your door at like 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning. I was like, hey, let's go hunting. You're like,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I know. I was surprised because you didn't call me or anything. You just showed up. But yeah, I think it was after we graduated because if I remember right, I was in my house that I was living by
Yeah,
myself.
right.
So yeah, that was so yeah, I'm sure that'll happen in Colorado now. So it'll be
Right.
fun.
But kind of on that note, yeah, like we're excited. You guys that have been listening. We're kind of throwing it out there now that there are going to be some more videos on the YouTube, and so there'll be some more on the social media. So stay tuned. Come along this new ride with us for this next year and see what help us. I guess get better and tell us what you want to see or let us know with our videos that we'll be putting out in the next 10 months or so. And then we'll just kind of move on from there and we'll segue right into Eric's new news that I guess we've kind of mentioned and brought up in the last video, but we haven't really covered the topic yet.
Yeah, we slightly glazed over it, I think. Well, I think we brought it up in a couple of our latest podcasts, but I'll go ahead and just spill the beans about it. I got a new bow like 2 weeks ago or whatnot, and it's what it is a PSE source. This particular bow came out in 2014. It's one of those higher end bows or above mid range bows. It's a let's see, what do I want to say about it? Well, anyways, I don't know. It's a higher end bow. I got my Diamondback last year, and it was my entry level bow, and I was really completely happy with it. This PSE bow, I got it from another friend that was selling it, and he gave me one of those deals where it was like, man, I don't really need a bow, but the fact that I get a level up at this price point is, just one of those things where I'm like, I feel like I could almost flip it and make $100 on it or something if I really had to or something. And just felt like it was a really good deal for the price. And so I went ahead and grabbed it. And it is a little older as far as like 2014, but really, I don't feel like I'm ever going to have to upgrade. Well, let me take that back. I'll upgrade eventually, but this bow kind of makes me, the need isn't there. I don't feel like I have to for a while. With that said, I'll kind of throw out a couple specs on it. The brace height on it is 7 inches. The axle is 33 inches. The draw length is 26 to 31 and a half. The draw weight is 40 pounds to 70. The speed is 327 feet per second to 335 feet per second. Weight is 4.3, and let off is, or 4.3 pounds. Let off is 75% let off. Right now, I believe it's set up. I'll set it up more for me as time goes on. But right now, I believe that the poundage is at 60 pounds at a 28.5-inch draw length. And yeah, I don't know what the feet per second on that is, but I actually had a little bit of time with that bow. I might have said that in another podcast, but regardless, I've had a little bit of time with that bow. I've shot it before. The guy that I bought it from, he had it set up. He had it set up better than I have it set up right now. Well, he just had more money in it and stuff, but his whenever I shot it before, I remembered that I really liked it, and so whenever I bought it, I was like, yeah, this is cool, and I'm completely happy with it. And like I said, I mean, for the price point, it is a little bit older, but at the same time, for the price point and everything, I basically leveled up from my entry level bow, and I feel like this one, I have a little more speed that comes out of it, and I don't know, I'm just excited. I gotta say though, so this last weekend, well, Joe and I, our last podcast, we were shooting the bow, and I pulled it out, and the guy that I bought it from, he made some adjustments on it, and I don't know what the story is behind it. Maybe he got in a hurry or whatever, but the what's that piece called? The stopper, or
Yeah, the bow stop. I can't remember. I said the name when we were looking at it, but I can't remember
yeah,
what it is now.
you did. I know I probably messed you up by saying the bow stopper, but anyways, he adjusted it to 28.5 inches for my draw length, and I'm guessing that he just, I don't know, did that and then didn't quite tighten the bolts down all the way, or the screws all the way down. But I shot it a few times, and this is the first time that Joe was around the bow, and we heard this like weird little vibration. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what is this? And I'm trying to play it off like, oh, it's a good bow. It really is, but me and him both are hearing this vibration, and I'm kind of a little bit like secretly embarrassed, because, I'm bragging about how good this bow is. And we couldn't find the vibration at first, but every time I shot it would make that vibration sound. And finally Joe, he tapped it a certain way and we could like hear it. So putting my ear everywhere, and I still can't think of the name of that piece, but anyways, he's like, I think it was you, Joe, or recognized that it was coming from that bow stop. And so yeah, long story short, we ended up just tightening it up. But at first I'm like, oh man, like, what is this? Did I get a lemon?
Right.
I'm like, already have problems, and I've been bragging about how good it is and stuff, but I just tightened it up, and that seemed to fix the problem pretty good. So that's one of those lessons that I still have a hard time following every time, I guess. But making sure all your screws are
and
tight.
bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to get better about checking that stuff, because that kind of bit me on my old bow, and my original sight on my old bow that came with it, I guess. Same thing happened there. Is it seemed as if it ended up breaking when I took it out to a 3D course, and we kind of suspect that partially the reason that it broke is some of the screws were kind of loose. And long story short, I ended up replacing the sight and throwing that one away anyway. But But yeah, so it was kind of one of those things to remember to tighten your screws up. But with that said, though, I'm pretty excited to have it, and can definitely put the work in and try to get used to. It's funny, you get used to pulling back the bow that you have a certain way or whatever, and then you get a brand new one, and even though I like this one and stuff, it feels different, and
Right.
so I'm gonna start putting in the work and trying to get the exercise and or the practice rather, and hopefully get that thing dialed in for this next elk season.
Yeah. God, I'm sitting there thinking about the next elk season, and I need to admit that I haven't been working that hard to get ready for the next elk season. It's with it's so used to rifle season that like you really need to be focusing on getting ready for elk season now, because it's July, August, September is when the hunt starts, and we're 3 months into this year already, and we're almost 5 months away.
Yeah, it comes fast. I know last year whenever it came, I'm not used to it being this early.
Yeah, I'm still not used to it. It's just I'll probably say it for a while, and I've said it previously. Man, getting ready for that archery elk season it sneaks up on you quicker, because you're in my head. I'm used to October,
Mm-hmm.
used to a weather change and time change, and the archery season is just so much earlier that like that's why I bring it up right now is like trying to get it in my head to stay focused and start getting ready, because it's not like just grabbing your rifle and spending one weekend shooting it just before the hunt and then going out the next weekend to head out hunting. It's kind of like a 4 or 5 month process to get ready.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why I fell in love with archery. I think the way I did those, because you do have to be engaged with it.
Right.
Uh, I mean, you know, I guess I've had a lot of changes this year as far as changing the bow and stuff, but over the last few months with the winter and everything, I haven't really been shooting my bow as much as I was. And I've noticed pulling it, shooting this new one and stuff, like just kind of getting out. I've gotten out of rhythm from where I was last year. I would last year because it was so new and everything. I mean, and I really was all about. I was like, I gotta get in the practice, and I've said this before, but I mean, almost every single night, I was going out in the backyard, and I have less than 20 yards to shoot. Um, but I was flinging at least 25 arrows a night, just trying to get that practice in, and I think it really helped, and I think that's just something that guys got to do to uh get where he wants to go, is just practice, practice, practice. So yeah, I don't know. It's that's why I love it though, is because it definitely keeps you honest, keeps you working at it. The archery world can get expensive though.
True.
Just seems like
True.
I had to buy a stabilizer for this new bow, and I mean, for what a stabilizer is, like, I mean, a cheaper one is like $50. That's what I kind of went. That's what I ended up getting, was like a $50 one, and I'm like, man, for what they are, they're kind of expensive, So it's yeah, it can be expensive, but it's fun.
True. True. Huh. Well, dude, what else do we have to talk about?
Well, I think we kind of covered it. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, we went over all the main topics that we kind of want to discuss tonight. Um, but yeah, yeah, we covered it all. I don't know if we want to do it. Do we want to go down just a little bit of a rabbit hole for a few minutes, or um,
Well, uh let me I'll let you think of another rabbit hole. I was gonna say one thing about this bow is the 33-inch axle to axle.
yeah,
Uh that's a little bit longer than like hunting bows, but I think for me, I think I'm gonna really like it. And the research that I've done, or not really research, but watching other articles on YouTube and stuff, a lot of guys say that they actually like the longer axle to axle uh, length because it gives you a little more accuracy. They say they think it, and I feel that way too, and I feel like it fits better. My other one, I can't remember what the axle to axle is off the top of my head, but it is more of a hunting bow where it's a little more compact. And I mean, it's fine and everything, but I definitely I feel like I'm a little more the longer axle to axle, it's a little more stable in my hands whenever I'm pulling back. So, a lot of this I think is personal preference, but I definitely can see the advantages of having a little longer axle to axle. And
yeah,
those bows, I mean, walking through the woods, you got to negotiate through the brush and everything anyway. So, little
right,
longer axle to axle isn't gonna. I mean, I guess it will make it a little harder, but I mean, holding the bow in your hands all day and negotiating through the brush and stuff, it's a lot different than a rifle anyway. So
right,
a few more inches on axle to axle, I don't think is really that big of a deal. And personally, I don't know, but um, but yeah, I don't know. Did you think of anything else to talk about, or?
yeah. Well, as you were talking about, like shooting the bow and your distance of shooting, and then uh, you know, anyways, I just kind of my thought kind of went kind of along these lines of what distance to be proficient at. Like it's easy to sit there at like 20 and 30 yards and shoot that all day long, but there's a I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's an older accomplished bow hunter, and his thing that he kind of contributed to his success of harvesting some very nice mule deer was being proficient at like the 50-yard mark, because as you try to get closer and closer to a mature deer, the harder and slower and quieter you have to hunt. And so if you can become, I just trying to become a better hunter, and then like being able to put that in my bag of tricks of saying, okay, I'm 50 yards, I know I can hit that deer, instead of being like, well, it's 50 yards, I know I'm good up till 35, so I got to get within 35 yards. Well, trying to close that 20 or 15 yards or whatever to get that much closer to where you can shoot good might cost you the opportunity to harvest that animal. So like I was just kind of my that rabbit hole of everyone kind of bags a little bit about shooting at uh at 50 yards, but yet that 50 yards could be whether or not you're successful or not. So I guess like just being ready for that, like putting that in your bag of tricks and being confident at that distance, and really at any distance, but like trying to, like man, I'm stumbling over my words again, but trying to go back and get closer can cause you success or unsuccessful hunt. So trying to you get in those positions, you're like, oh, I just got to push it, I got to get closer. And then, but yeah, you have the wind and you got perfect spot to set up at 50 yards, but no, you got to get within that, into that 10 to 20 or 30 yards, but yet you're pushing your luck. So like, like why not just take your lucky shot at 50 and call it good?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I think that's definitely something I want to work more on this year is hitting practicing on those 40, 50, and 60-yard shots.
Right.
I don't think I'll go 60 is kind of out there, but I mean my sights are built up to 60, so I don't know.
Right.
It's good to
Well, I
practice.
just was just sitting here just thinking, thinking putting bags or tricks in your bag to be successful. And I think that's one of the things, that will help is to be good at those longer distances. Not, I wouldn't say take it out to 100, but being out to 50, just because it's easier to get to 50 than it is to 30 and 20.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be awesome to be able to shoot one that close, but heck, if you're confident at those distances and you're confident where you're setting, you have an opportunity to take it. And it's all about creating the better opportunity for you too. But anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I agree. 100%.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess should we call it an episode and let these people that have been listening to us take a break for another episode till we get next episode out?
Yeah, that sounds good. I was just gonna say, man, it's gonna be a fun year. I can't wait to elk hunt with you. I guess there's some details there that we got to figure out, but you are gonna be in town most of hunt season.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. We got some stuff to figure out with you as far as residency and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Right.
However that ends up working out, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get that figured out. Well, we can probably discuss that in the next episode, kind of where my predicaments are right now and what that looks like for the upcoming season.
Yeah. But it'll be nice to have you out there with me, and or hopefully we're both hunting at the same time. But the point is being able to help each other close the distance with an elk.
Yes.
And a deer.
Yes.
So yeah, with that said, I mean, do you want to
yeah, I'll go ahead and
get us out of here?
Get us out of here. Thanks guys for tuning in and coming into our little hunting shack tonight and talking some hunting stories and some our big announcement. Like I said, stay tuned. This year of 2022 is going to be a fun year, whether we get something or we don't. But we have some stuff coming out, hopefully that, you guys can enjoy on the visual side. And thanks for listening. We appreciate your time, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys, and be safe.
See ya.